Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. If you like this sort of content, I would be tickled pink, pinker, if you hit the like button, and I'd be truly honored if you hit the subscribe button. But more importantly, you're here for some entertainment. So here we go. Pirate Theater, written by Something Touches Back. As the Tok-Human War raged on, vast amounts of weapons and supplies were continuously shipped hubward to the front, and a steady stream of slaves was shipped rimward towards the Tok homeworlds. The Tok had no word for alliance. There were only the Tok and the lesser sentient species, the latter of which were only good for slaves or target practice. During their relentless expansion along the Orion Spur, the Tok encountered many species that disagreed with their philosophy. But so far, only the humans had put up a sustained resistance. Perhaps this was because humans were the first species the Tok encountered that already had a significant interstellar presence at first contact. The Tok were still learning how to fight true interstellar wars, but they were learning, and there was a lot of talk. 30 or so light years back from the front, a Tok oligarch had created a secret and unauthorized slave-powered mining operation on a world that had no indigenous sentient life, and thus had been largely forgotten by the Tok government. A year ago, the slaves, led by a human named Bartholomew, had revolted and captured the colony and the one starship that serviced the colony. Ironically, the oligarch had chosen that particular time to inspect his holdings, and thus every Tok that knew that unauthorized colony even existed was now dead. Bartholomew looked around the conference room at the eclectic group of species that represented the de facto governing body of the colony. Over the last year, we have successfully captured an additional 5 ships, secured essential machines and materials to make this a self-sustaining colony, and added to our population with the former slaves freed from those ships. But our pattern of killing all Tok and making the ships just disappear can only get us so far. As long as the Tok Empire controls this region of space, we will live in fear of the day they find the planet and slaughter us all. We need to up our game. Louis, the furry green mossiad that was the current governor of this planet the resident humans called Tortuga, said, "Up our game, but we are a few hundred ex-slaves with a total of 6 converted commercial ships at our disposal, up against an empire that spans 100 light years. I hate to even ask what you have in mind." Bart grinned. Long ago, a distant ancestor of mine, also named Bartholomew Roberts, became the most successful pirate of his day, operating under the name Black Bart. He developed such a fearsome reputation that many ships surrendered without a fight, and the enemy was forced to tie up a significant amount of their military force chasing him. I propose we try a similar tactic. The human factions and their allies are pressing the Tok pretty hard. We can give them an edge by tying up the Tok resources and causing discord within the Tok command structure. We will attack the lightly defended transports as before, but this time we'll kill all the Tok officers, but spare as many Tok crew members as possible, forcing them into escape pods so that some of them survive to tell the tale. For maximum effectiveness, we want the Tok to believe that they are fighting one ship and one very crazy human, as we'll have multiple ships attacking across the region of space. We want the survivors to carry back the rumor that somehow one ship is able to get about faster than any Tok ship. That by itself will cause confusion and discord. As the acts of piracy continue, the merchants will demand protection, cause a discord between the merchants and the military. Responding will draw Tok military ships away from the front, causing discord between the admirals in the front and the admirals responsible for stopping the pirate. If we are naughty enough, we may be able to draw hundreds of combat ships off the front, trying to both escort convoys and search for us. All this effort and their continued failure to stop one pirate will cause discord between the military and the Tok bureaucrats at the palace. And then Hydra, named Lutris, said a question. Why will the Tok think there is only one pirate? Won't it be obvious that they see different ships and different crews? Or were you planning on doing this all by yourself, Bart? Bart replied, This gets into a mechanism of conducting our attacks. In the days of my ancestor, attacking ships would raise distinctive pirate flag to tell the target just what they were up against. But flags don't work in space. Instead, as an attack commences, whichever our ships is involved, it switches its transponder to send out a distinctive signature. Each ship becomes the Scourge of the Void. Then, during the attack, all communications with the target ship and the boarding action itself will be led by a human who will always be referred to only as Black Bart. Let me now introduce you to our first group of Black Barts. 5 humans came into the room from where they had been waiting in the antechamber. Louis and Lutris were not alone in struggling not to cover their eyes at the awful sight. The 5 humans were dressed identically. High-topped boots and higher socks projected out from under-cropped pants, a loose shirt with billowy sleeves that peeked out from within a vest, undercoat, bandolier, and a long coat. The whole ensemble was topped off with a ridiculously large floppy hat. But what really hurt the eyes was the way every single article had a different hash, stripe, or spot pattern in the most offensive possible combinations of shortwave and longwave colors. They were, to put it mildly, the most flamboyant, nay, garish, over-the-top outfits imaginable. Add to that, each human had a beard sporting what appeared to be smoldering cords braided into them, and the look was, distractingly lurid, hardly seemed strong enough. Bart continued his presentation. Well, some species see in grayscale. Most have multiple spectral types of photoreceptors in their eyes. Humans have 3, for example, and some Terran butterflies have up to 10. We have analyzed dark vision, which has 4 types of photoreceptors, favoring color discrimination in what humans refer to as the short-wave visual and near-ultraviolet spectrum. In the outfits displayed before you, we believe that we have come across a color and pattern blend that will cause maximum distress. A voice from the back of the room commented, I congratulate the fashion sense of your design team. My species does see in grayscale, and even I find those outfits to be bordering on psychological warfare. Thank you, Bart continued. There will be 1 Black Bart per ship. They will have complete authority during the actual engagement and boarding. They have all been trained and use an identical vernacular when addressing the TOC crew members prior to sending them off to escape pods. It is hard enough for a TOC to tell different humans apart in the best of times, and being boarded is not the best of times. We believe the TOC will be unable to see beyond these outfits to detect that they are all dealing with different humans. We will also speak and act in ways that suggest to the TOC that we plan to steal anything of value and scuttle the captured ship, thus avoiding questions about what will happen to the slaves left aboard. Of course, after the TOC are gone, we will rescue the now refugees, but the point is to not let the TOC know that. It is extremely important that the TOC believe that 1 pirate vessel is surviving by scavenging everything it needs from captured ships. We don't want the TOC to start looking for a hidden pirate base somewhere. Louis spoke up next. What happens if a boarding goes bad and the Black Bart is captured or killed? Oh, that's where it gets really fun, said Bart. If any of us gets captured or killed, the remaining Black Barts continue their raids and spread the rumor through the released crew members that their bosses manufactured the prior capture to cover for their own incompetence. This will cause further discord between the TOC officers and the TOC enlisted men, not to mention between the Abeltria and the palace. The point is, you can capture a ship and kill a man, but you cannot kill a legend. We are about to unleash upon the TOC the legend of Black Bart. Each of these humans before you, myself included, have signed up for, in words of my ancestors, a merry life and a short one. If any of us should fall, we ask those who survive us to make our deaths count by keeping the legend going. Louis looked from the gaudy human to another in amazement. Anybody can be a pirate, but only humans would think of weaponizing pirate theater itself. End of story. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 peeps: Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Bushmaster 177, Henry the Red, Caspar Arnholtz, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Elijah Silvercross, Dragzoon WRE, and Severin Cerberus. Thank you very much.